Today on Sky World News, lining up to talk peace, Middle East leaders prepared to meet directly as Obama urges them to seize the moment. Bombers target Shia Muslims in Pakistan. At least 25 people die in 3 explosions. Food riots in Mozambique. Police open fire, killing 7 protesters. Also, Discovery Channel siege. A gunman's shot dead after taking hostages at a TV station. Fed through a tube, the trapped Chilean miners celebrate their first solid meal in a month. And in sport, a scare at the US Open after Victoria Azarenka collapses on court.
Live from the Sky News Centre, this is Sky World News with Lukwesa Burak.
A very good morning to you and a warm welcome to World News. First this morning, and the first direct peace talks between Israelis and Palestinians for more than 2 years begin today in Washington. Barack Obama inaugurated the new peace process at a White House dinner with both Jordan's King Abdullah and Egypt's President Mubarak in supporting roles. Well, Mr. Obama said he was cautiously hopeful of the chances of peace. Sky's Middle East correspondent Dominic Waghorn reports now from the US Capitol.
They are the latest in a long line of leaders who've tried to bring peace to the Middle East, brought together by the latest American president, hoping to succeed where all before him have failed.
It is the shoulders of our predecessors upon which we stand. It is their work that we carry on. Now, like each of them, we must ask, do we have the wisdom and the courage to walk the path of peace?
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu took up the president's challenge with a personal appeal to his Palestinian counterpart.
President Abbas, you are my partner in peace. And it is up to us, with the help of our friends, to conclude the agonizing conflict between our peoples and to afford them a new beginning.
The Israeli leader stressed the need for a peace that guarantees security. Yesterday, Israelis buried the 4 Jewish settlers killed by Palestinian gunmen on the West Bank in an attack carried out by Hamas, which opposes these negotiations. Later in the day, another attack left 2 more Israelis wounded. Jordan's King Abdullah warned there would be more attempts to derail these talks.
There are those on both sides who want us to fail, who will do everything in their power to disrupt our efforts today.
The body language was not all encouraging. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas showed no willingness to compromise on an issue that could torpedo these talks: Jewish settlements.
We also reiterate our commitment to carry out all our obligations, and we call on the Israelis to carry out their obligations, including a freeze on all settlements activities, which is not setting a precondition, but a call to implement an agreed obligation.
Yesterday, some Jewish settlers began construction again, even before the end of a 10-month freeze on building on occupied land. The issue has the potential to bury the chances of success in these talks almost as soon as they've begun. The Palestinians are warning that all this could add up to nothing more than a pointless 2-day excursion to America. If the Israelis do not extend their settlement freeze, they say, they will leave negotiations and collapse the peace process. In truth, neither side can afford to be blamed for these talks failing. Both these leaders have said a deal is possible within a year. Now they're under pressure to defy the skeptics and prove it. Dominic Waghorn, Sky News, Washington.
This is Sky World News Review and Business Report with Lukwesa Burak.
And we are celebrating at home, I can tell you that. Right, let's cross to Summit TV now.
Good morning, I'm Jane Viji from Summit TV. Here's a look at how the bourses were last trading across the African continent. In southern Africa, Botswana's domestic index was 0.2% firmer. South Africa's all-share gained 2.6%, while the LUSE in Zambia was trading 0.06% weaker. In West Africa, Ghana's all-share lost 1.23%, Ivory Coast's composite was up 0.91%, and Nigeria's all-share was trading in the red by 0.09. In East Africa, Kenya's NSE was 0.18% weaker. The Mauritian Semdex shed 0.33%, while Uganda's composite was unchanged on the day. With the currencies in Southern Africa, $1 buys you 6.77 Botswana Pula, 7.27 South African Rands, and 48.36 Zambian Kwacha. In West Africa, you'll pay 1.42 Ghanaian Cedi a dollar, more than 506 Ivory Coast francs, and just over 150 Nigerian naira. In East Africa, you'll get 77.12 Kenyan shillings for a dollar, about 29.70 Mauritian rupees, and more than 22.32 Ugandan shillings for $1. Thanks for joining us for your African markets news from Johannesburg. Have a great day.
We certainly will, Jane. Thank you very much. You're watching Sky World News on our website, skynews.com. Why a rape investigation into the WikiLeaks founder has been reopened. Coming up on the programme, 2 miles beneath the Atlantic, a new survey of the world's most famous ship. And in sport, find out what KP said about his Twitter comments. Papers for you now, and we'll start off with the Daily Nation in Kenya, which reports on the threatening phone messages sent to mobile phone users in Nairobi, warning that they'd die. The Communications Commission is investigating the hoax. The Sowetan has the latest failure in union talks as the public sector strike continues. Mortuary mayhem. The witness leads on the sabotage at a Durban morgue, being blamed on strikers. Japan's Asahi Shimbun has the discussions over the relocation of a US airbase. The Australian reports that the Labour Party's alliance with the Greens has caused concern for mine workers across the country. And finally, the South China Morning Post shows children waiting for the morning bus as pupils return to school after the summer holidays. The weather across Africa, and those equatorial showers will continue today as the heat of the day builds, with some heavy downpours for the Ethiopian highlands. Highs of 20 degrees Celsius for Addis Ababa. Central parts of Tanzania will see some blustery, heavy rain. High temperatures for Dar es Salaam, 26 degrees here. Parts of Kenya will also be affected with light rain for Nairobi and highs of 23. Now, eastern coastal parts of South Africa will see some heavy rain with highs in Durban of 22 degrees Celsius. Around the Western Cape, it'll be cool, dull and damp. Only 17 degrees Celsius for Cape Town. For much of the south, though, it'll be another fine and dry day with temperatures in line with seasonal norms.
Sports headlines. Defending champion Kim Clijsters is through to the third round of the US Open after defeating Australia's Sally Pearce in straight sets. But the day was marred by the collapse of Victoria Azarenka. The 10th seed was losing the first set against Gisela Dulko when she fell. It's believed she suffered a mild concussion after falling in the gym while warming up. Two-time champion Venus Williams beat qualifier Rebecca Marino 7-6, 6-3 to reach round 3. Fourth seed Andy Murray is safely through his first round. He beat Lucas Lacko in straight sets. And England batsman Kevin Pietersen scored 38 for his county side Surrey the day after being dropped by England for one-day games, and apologised for swearing at the selectors on his Twitter site.
Keep them coming in, and thank you very much. You're watching Sky World News. We've got more coming up after the break. Until then, take another look at our top stories.